She clicked her heels down the aisle like she owned the sky. Prada sunglasses, diamond-studded carry-on. Everything about her screamed money. But what came out her mouth? Pure entitlement. "Excuse me," she snapped at the flight attendant. "I'm not sitting next to him." She jabbed a manicured finger at the man in 24B. A tall, calm black man reading a book on civil rights. The cabin went quiet, like someone hit mute on humanity. The man, his name was Andre Thomas, looked up slowly. He didn't flinch, didn't speak, just stared. Andre was used to this. Boardrooms, supermarkets. Now, 30,000 feet in the air. Same story, different sky. The woman hissed again. "I said I will not sit next to him. Move me." She wasn't asking. She was demanding. Flight attendant Rachel, a rookie on her third week, froze. This wasn't in her manual. But the man? He smiled. "Would you like me to move instead?" His voice was silk and steel. Rachel nodded gratefully. Crisis averted, or so she thought. Andre moved to the back, near the toilets. Seat wouldn't recline. Tray was broken. He didn't complain. He just watched. Waited. An hour into the flight, turbulence hit. Hard. Screams. Oxygen masks. But Andre, calm. He stood up, helped a child fix her mask, guided an elderly man back to his seat. Guess who didn't help anyone? Guess who pushed a woman to grab an extra life vest? Yeah, her. Mrs. Too Rich to be racist. Plane stabilized. Applause broke out. People whispered Andre's name. "He saved my daughter. He kept me calm." But the woman? She folded her arms, glared straight ahead, didn't even look at him, didn't want to. Then came the announcement. "Is there a doctor on board?" A man in first class was having a heart attack. The crew panicked. Andre stood, calm, collected. "I'm a trauma surgeon." The flight crew didn't hesitate. They called him forward. For 20 minutes, he worked, sweat on his brow, calm in his eyes. He saved the man's life. Right there, on the plane, 30,000 feet in the air. The passengers clapped. The captain thanked him over the intercom. Even the flight attendant cried. Everyone was moved, except her. She still didn't say a word, still stared ahead, like saving lives didn't count when the hands were black. They landed in New York. People stopped Andre. Photos, hugs. A child gave him a crayon drawing. "You're my hero," she whispered. He smiled. Then security approached. For officers, guns, vests. "Mr. Thomas, come with us." Gasps. What? The woman smirked. Flight attendant Rachel ran to intercept. He didn't do anything. But it was too late. He was cuffed, dragged away. The charge? Suspicious behavior during flight. Someone had made a report. Guess who filed it? Yeah, her. Said he was tampering with the plane. Said he made her feel unsafe. Andre didn't argue, didn't fight. He just looked at her one last time and said, "This isn't over." Andre sat in a holding cell. 24 hours. No charges. No lawyer. No explanation. But across the city, another story was unfolding. The man Andre saved? A billionaire tech mogul. Thomas Braxton, founder of Braxton Systems, woke up in the hospital asking one thing. Where's the man who saved me? When he found out Andre had been arrested, he lost it. He sent a legal team, a PR team, security. Get him out. Now, within 2 hours, Andre was released. Charges dropped. Officers silent. No apology. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Andre walked out of jail, straight into a limo, where Thomas Braxton waited. "Come work for me," he said. "I need someone like you." Andre paused. "I'm not interested in a job," he said. "I want something else." That night, Andre posted the flight footage. Turns out, he'd recorded the whole thing. Every racist word, every hateful glance, every lie. The video went viral. 5 million views in 4 hours. Hashtag Justice for Andre. Hashtag Flight from Hell. The internet exploded. But here's the twist. Someone recognized the woman and dropped her name in the comments. Miranda Halston, wife of powerful Senator Richard Halston. And she wasn't just rich. She was connected. Andre knew what he was up against. But he wasn't scared, because he wasn't alone anymore. With Braxton behind him and the world watching, he launched a full investigation. Emails, phone logs, campaign donations. Miranda's secrets were starting to surface. Turns out, this wasn't her first offense. A maid in Aruba, a waitress in Paris, a hotel manager in DC. All with stories, all with proof. But Andre wasn't after exposure. He was after justice. 3 weeks later, Andre was walking down a quiet street, heading to a meeting, talking on the phone with Braxton. Then, a black SUV pulled up. No plates, windows tinted. The door opened. A man in a suit stepped out. No badge, no name. "You're making powerful enemies," the man said. "You should stop." Andre narrowed his eyes, took a step forward. "You threatening me?" The man didn't blink. "This isn't a threat," he said. "It's a warning." Then he got back in the SUV and vanished. Andre stood in the street, breathing hard, phone shaking in his hand. He looked into the distance, eyes burning with rage. And then he said, "Now it's personal." Andre didn't sleep that night. Not because he was scared, because he was ready. He knew that SUV wasn't random. He knew Miranda Halston wasn't just some racist socialite. She was protected, shielded by money, and something darker. She was protected, shielded by money, and something darker. Braxton's team dug in. Hard drives, contracts, secret emails. They found something big. A private charity Miranda ran in her name was a front for illegal surveillance, targeting activists, mostly black. Her nonprofit, funneling funds into private investigations, tracking people who spoke out against injustice. People like Andre. She wasn't just offended by him sitting next to her. She knew who he was. And that flight, it wasn't coincidence. It was intentional. In a Manhattan penthouse, a whistleblower came forward. Former IT guy, nervous, sweating. "I found something in her files," he said. He slid over a USB. Encrypted. Andre's name was on it, along with dozens of others. Activists, journalists, doctors, teachers. "Why would she be watching me?" Andre asked. The IT guy whispered, "Because you're a threat to what she's hiding." Inside the files? Photos, bank statements. A single word repeated in bold. Project Exile. Nobody knew what it meant. But one thing was clear. This was bigger than racism. It was about silencing voices. 2 days later, the whistleblower turned up dead. Accidental overdose, they said. But Andre had just spoken to him the night before. He didn't do drugs. Andre knew they were getting closer, and that meant danger. Braxton hired private security, armed, discreet. But Andre, he didn't back down. He went public, dropped a second video, called it 20 million views. Overnight, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, the world was watching. Then came the press conference. Senator Richard Halston, Miranda's husband, stone-faced, robotic. "My wife is the victim of a smear campaign," he said. "She has done nothing wrong." His voice didn't even crack, but a reporter shouted, "Then what is Project Exile?" He froze, just for a second, then forced a smile. No further questions. That second was all Andre needed. Andre set a trap, not for Miranda, for her husband. He leaked a fake document, claimed he had a secret recording of Halston confessing. He waited, and just like that, someone broke into his apartment. Not thieves, not looters, professional cleaners. They didn't take his TV. They took his laptop. But what they didn't know, the recording was fake. The real trap was the security camera in the lamp. Got them on video, clear as day. He sent the footage to every major outlet and watched the headlines explode. 3 days later, Andre got a call. Private number, distorted voice. "You're digging into something you don't understand," it said. "You think this is about a racist woman on a flight." A pause. This goes all the way to the Pentagon. Then, click, deadline. Andre's hands were shaking, but not from fear, from fury. He turned to Braxton. "I don't want protection anymore. I want justice." A new name surfaced in the leaked files. A man named Dr. Felix Moore, ex-government analyst, missing since 2019. Andre found him in a cabin, off-grid, paranoid, armed. Felix opened the door, pointed a shotgun at Andre's chest. "I don't talk to journalists." Andre held up his hands. "I'm not a journalist. I'm a survivor." That one word changed everything. Inside the cabin, Felix poured whiskey, started talking. shaking. Project Exile was never meant to be public. It was about control. Racial, political, total. Miranda ran the civilian branch. Halston protected it from DC. They created fake reports, got people fired, deported, disappeared. Felix pulled out a folder. Inside, photos, Andre's college protests, his articles, his hospital records. They've been watching you for 10 years. Back in the city, Miranda was spiraling. Paparazzi, news trucks. Her reputation, ruined. But her power, still intact. She made a call. One more problem to solve, she said. Permanently. That night, Andre's car exploded. But he wasn't in it. He'd switched vehicles last minute. And now, he knew they were done playing games. The next day, the FBI showed up. Not to arrest Miranda, but to arrest Braxton. Fraud, bribery, conspiracy, all charges. All sudden, Andre watched from across the street. Eyes narrowed, heart pounding. He turned his phone, opened a secure app, typed one message. She got to the feds. Then he looked up and whispered, "Time to burn it all down." Andre was done playing defense. They tried to arrest him, silence him, kill him. Now was his turn. He disappeared. No press, no phones, just a duffel bag, a burner, and a plan. He flew to DC. Not first class, not coach, private. Braxton's money, what was left of it, got him there. He had one mission: uncover what Project Exile really was. Deep in the Library of Congress, he met with a contact, a hacker named Echo. She wore a hoodie and a wire around her wrist like a bracelet. "I pulled everything you asked," she whispered. "But you're not gonna like what I found." She slid over a hard drive. The label read, "Exile, Black Sites." Andre's stomach turned. Inside, maps, blueprints, surveillance from inside detention centers. Not IC, not federal, private. They were shipping people off the grid. People who protested, blew the whistle, spoke too loud, and they weren't deported. They weren't jailed. They were disappeared. Andre stared at a wall of names. Photos, ages, activist histories. Then he saw it. A woman's face. Familiar. Jessica Thomas. His sister. She died in a car accident, he muttered. Echo shook her head. She didn't die. She was taken. The memory shattered. A funeral with a closed casket. No answers. Only pain. They hadn't targeted him first. They got to her. The last black site on the list was in Wyoming. Old mining land. Privately owned. He went alone. Disguised as a delivery driver. Security was tight. But Andre was tighter. He broke in. Snuck past cameras. Slipped through steel corridors. Then he found it. A vault door. Fingerprint locked. But someone had left a tool card. Inside, a severed thumb in a cooler. Disgusting? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. He pressed the thumb to the scanner. Door opened. Rows of rooms. No windows. Just numbers. And silence. Then a voice. Faint. Broken. Andre. He froze. He turned. And there she was. Jessica. Alive. They held each other. Tears. Disbelief. Time collapsed. She looked older. Worn. But alive. "I tried to warn you," she whispered. "They took me before I could." She'd uncovered something. Something big. A memo between Halston and an arms dealer. Project Exile wasn't just about surveillance. It was about test subjects. People were being experimented on. Sirens blared. Alarms. They'd been seen. Andre grabbed Jessica's hand. They ran through the corridors. Gunshots echoed behind them. Echo's voice buzzed in his earpiece. "North exit. 200 meters." They ducked under a gate. Leapt a ditch. Bullets clipped the ground near their feet. A van screeched up. Echo at the wheel. "Get in." They dove inside. Doors slammed. Rubber screamed. They were gone. For now. They regrouped in a bunker beneath DC. Echo laid it out. "It's not just Halston. There's a whole list of them. A secret committee. Senators. CEOs. Judges. They called themselves the Shadow Senate. Project Exile was just Phase 1. Phase 2. Election tampering. Media blackouts. And targeted disappearances. Jessica looked up. "There's a file. The master list. It's encrypted, but I know where it is." Andre nodded. "Then we end this." The file was stored in a military-grade server. inside a private defense contractor's HQ in Virginia. They needed credentials. They needed access. They needed a traitor. Andre called the one person who could help. Senator Dean Kravitz. Retired, disgraced, but angry. Kravitz met them in a church basement. "You want to destroy them?" he asked. "Andre, I want the world to see what they've built." Kravitz smirked. "Then let's bring it down." 3 nights later, they breached the facility. Andre, Jessica, Echo, Kravitz. A 4-person revolution. They reached the server room. Echo plugged in. Download began. Progress bar. 1%, 18%, 42%. Then, boom, the ceiling caved in. Gum and rappelled down. Miranda Halston in full body armor. "You should have stayed in your seat," she said. Gun pointed at Jessica's head. The download at 92%. Andre stepped forward. "I'm the one you want." Miranda laughed. "No, I already got what I want." She clicked a remote. The screen went black. Andre screamed, but it was too late. Miranda whispered, "This isn't the end, it's the beginning." And the screen cut to black. Andre watched the screen fade to black. All files gone. 3 years of secrets, erased with a single click. Miranda vanished into the chaos. Smoke grenades. Gunfire. She always had an exit plan. Echo was hit. Shoulder wound. Jessica dragged her to safety. Andre stayed behind. Tried to pull a backup from the hard drive. Nothing. Corrupted. Dead. They escaped through an underground tunnel. Kravitz led them out. Silent. Shaken. Outside, the sky was bleeding orange. Sirens howled in the distance. Andre clenched his fists. "It's not over," he whispered. "But we're running out of time." The Shadow Senate didn't just operate in the U.S. They had chapters. Cells. Global influence. Kravitz revealed something big. There was a resistance. Hidden. Scattered. Watching. Waiting. They called themselves the Fade. Andre made contact in Berlin. An ex-MI6 agent named Celine Ward. Tough. Unforgiving. Tattooed with coordinates to black sites she'd burned down. She didn't like Andre, but she hated the Shadow Senate more. "You want to kill the monster?" she said. "You need to cut the head off in Geneva." Back at their hideout, Jessica started acting strange. Quiet. Anxious. She disappeared for hours. Took calls in private. Wouldn't explain. Echo noticed it too. "I installed spyware on her burner. She's messaging someone." Andre didn't want to believe it. Not his sister. Not after what they'd been through. But when he tracked her to a hidden safe house, he saw it. Jessica, standing with Miranda Halston. Laughing. Andre stormed in. Heart pounding. Gun drawn. Jessica spun around. Eyes wide. Miranda didn't flinch. "Welcome to the family reunion," she purred. Jessica dropped her phone. Hands in the air. "It's not what you think." Andre cut her off. "You sold us out." Jessica's face broke. "They threatened Mom. Dad's grave. Everything. I had no choice." Miranda smiled. She chose wisely. Andre turned his gun on Miranda. "You die tonight." But Miranda whispered, "You shoot me, she dies tomorrow." Andre hesitated. Finger on the trigger. Shaking. Jessica screamed, "Do it. Don't let her win." Sirens in the distance. They were being tracked. Echo rerouted satellite pings. Celine planted C4 on the lower floor. "You've got 45 seconds." Celine barked. Andre fired a shot. Not at Miranda. At the lights. Darkness. Chaos. They ran. Bullets flying. Jessica grabbed Andre's hand. Pulled him through a broken window. The safe house exploded behind them. But Miranda? Gone. Again. Back in Berlin, Echo decrypted part of the corrupted server drive. One phrase kept appearing. "Candidate Sigma must be eliminated before launch." "Who's Sigma?" Andre asked. Echo's eyes widened. Echo's eyes widened. "It's not a what. It's a who." Sigma was a political code name, used in a secret CIA log. The file had a name. Andre Thomas. Celine pulled a dusty folder from her vault. A rogue CIA psychic predictions document. Sounds crazy. But in 2011, a Black Ops unit predicted an uprising. Predicted a man, a black trauma surgeon, who'd unite a global movement. Andre read the profile. His entire life was in it. His birth, education, hospital records, even that flight. They didn't just fear him. They planned around him. They built Project Exile to destroy him. Andre collapsed into a chair. Everything made sense now. It wasn't coincidence. It was prophecy. Echo stared at him. "There's something worse," she said. The psychic file had a second name. Andre leaned forward. "Who?" Echo whispered. "Jessica." Andre stood outside an abandoned airfield. Celine loaded weapons into duffel bags. Echo prepped satellite drones. Jessica walked up behind him. "You still don't trust me?" Andre didn't answer. She said, "They predicted I'd kill you, but they're wrong." Andre turned deadpan. "Then prove it." A jet roared overhead. Government insignia. Celine shouted from the tower. "Code Black, they found us." Andre pulled on his vest. Looked Jessica dead in the eyes. "If I die today, make sure they burn with me." The screen went black. Sirens, gunfire, and Jessica's voice trembling. "You were never the prophecy, Andre." "I was." Spotlights tore across the tarmac. Helicopters buzzed overhead. Dozens of black-clad agents swarmed the runway. Andre loaded his pistol. Echo handed him a data stick. "The last backup. This time, we leak it everywhere." Celine barked. "We hold them off for 6 minutes. No less." Jessica adjusted her vest. Calm, focused. But Andre still watched her like a ticking bomb. And the first shot fired. The battle began. Echo launched a signal jammer. Knocked out enemy comms. Bought time. Andre and Celine moved as a unit. Precision. Years of pain turned into purpose. Jessica stayed back. Her job was to transmit the leak. But when Echo turned to check on her, she was gone. Just vanished. Jessica sprinted across the hangar. Heart racing. Phone clutched tight. She reached a dark SUV. Inside, Miranda. "You have it?" Miranda asked. Jessica hesitated, then held up the data stick. "You lied to me," Jessica said. "You said Andre wasn't on the list." Miranda smiled. "Collateral damage." Jessica slipped the stick into Miranda's hand, then whispered, "I hope it explodes in your face." Back at the tower, Andre discovered Jessica's absence. "Where is she?" he growled. Echo pointed toward the SUV. Andre ran. No cover. No time. He leapt in front of the SUV, gun drawn, face to face with Miranda again. "You've done enough," he said. Miranda raised a pistol. Smirked. "I haven't even started." Jessica stepped between them. "Hands out." "Stop." Miranda fired. The bullet hit Jessica square in the chest. She fell into Andre's arms. Miranda peeled away. Screeching tires. Gone. Jessica coughed. Blood trickled from her lips. "I switched the stick," she whispered. She got a decoy. Andre's eyes filled with tears. "You didn't betray me." She smiled faintly. "I'm the prophecy because I chose you." Then she went still. Echo jammed the stick into the backup server. Typed furiously. Upload began. 3%, 17%, 40%. Celine laid cover fire. Andre didn't flinch. He just watched the numbers. 96%, 98%. Boom. A missile struck the tower. Fire. Screaming metal. Everything crashed. The next morning, the world changed. Hundreds of news sites were hacked. TV stations hijacked. Phones buzzed. Every screen lit up with the headline. Documents. Video proof. Testimonies. Names. Faces. Wire transfers. The Shadow Senate unmasked. Senator Halston was arrested during a live speech. Chained. Dragged away. The crowd erupted. Miranda? Missing. Warrant issued. Interpol activated. Celine vanished. Back to the shadows. Echo, now the folk hero. But she stayed offline. Andre stood at Jessica's grave. Quiet. Still. She believed I'd change the world, he said. But she did. He placed the prophecy file on her tombstone. Lit a match. Watched it burn. Then turned and walked into the crowd. 1,000 people. Waiting. Watching. Following. The fight was over. But the war for justice? Only just begun.